Ugh. Whew. It's been a long 3 months. How's it going, everybody? I'm Eric and welcome back to Out of the Groove. That's right, Out of the Groove will be returning for the entire 2017 schedule, at least as far as I know now. But whereas last fall I did 2 episodes a week, for this season I will be doing only 1. And while I know today's episode is being uploaded on a Thursday, I'm not quite certain yet if Thursdays will be the same day it's uploaded every week. It might switch to Wednesdays, not quite sure yet. My school schedule this semester has been a little bit more all over the place, so I haven't been able to set specific hours aside to film and to edit these episodes yet. So that's why I'm not quite sure what the exact days are going to be at this point. But it's cool. I do have a NASCAR parody coming out tomorrow, so get ready for that. And so without further ado, let's talk Daytona. The Daytona 500 is this Sunday. In fact, at the time you're watching this, assuming you're watching it pretty quick after it comes out, the duels are tonight. Not to mention we got the Truck Series and Xfinity Series Friday and Saturday, so we got a lot of racing. I always forget every year how much racing they do before the season actually starts. I mean, they always get the Clash or, Sprint Limit or whatever it is the week before. They got practices and stuff all throughout the week. They got qualifying a week before the Daytona 500. Then they got the dual races, and then obviously Xfinity and Truck Series got a race. There's a lot of stuff happening. Not to mention the Rolex 24 that happened like a few weeks ago. Compared to other major sports, NASCAR has like the shortest off season. So I sit here and imagine by the time February rolls around, I really start like amping up. I'm ready for racing again. Even though at that point it's only been like 2 months. So honestly, I don't know what I'd do if NASCAR had a 4 or 5 months off season. That'd be depressing. The Clash at Daytona was run last weekend on Sunday morning because of rain, of course. Some things never change. Joey Logano got the win after a crazy final lap in which Hamlin and Keselowski wrecked each other. Well, actually it was mostly Hamlin's fault. But overall, I was greatly encouraged by the racing I saw in that race. It seemed like cars were able to line up and get better runs on each other and make more passes than they have been the last few years. It seems like ever since the Gen 6 car came out, all the plate tracks, cars really, it's hard for anyone to get runs on each other, to clear the leader, to make passes out front like that. The air the cars are too equal, so it's made the racing more competitive in a way, but also less hectic. The Clash this last week, and I thought was the first time I've seen in a while at play tracks where a driver can easily go from 10th place to 2nd in a lap. Back in the day, before the Gen 6 cars and all that, it was not uncommon to see a guy get in a good draft lane, make a couple good moves, and in one lap gain 15 positions. That wasn't entirely uncommon. But the last 3 or 4 years, that really doesn't happen much at Daytona. If you needed to be in the top 5 or 6 if you want to have any shot of winning the last couple laps. But the Clash we saw late in the race, guys like Joey Logano, Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick grouped up and were able to get up and break up the front 4 that were all Joe Gibbs cars. So they were coming from back in 10th, 11th place, 2 and 3 ride racing, and they were able to get up to the single file Gibbs cars and make something happen. So hopefully that bodes well for the rest of plate racing this year, because I thought it was very fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to this weekend's race. And then of course, obviously, I hope it translates to all the other tracks later this season as well. I think we'll have some good racing. Several tracks are being changed up a little bit. Phoenix is changing where the start-finish line is. It's now on the exit of turn 2 down the backstretch, kind of, right before the big dog leg, so that'll be interesting. Texas Motor Speedway is getting a whole new repave, and I think they're decreasing the banking slightly in turns 1 and 2, so that'll also change the configuration of that track quite a bit. And Atlanta Motor Speedway also getting repaved after all these years. All in all, I thought last year was a good year for NASCAR. And I thought they needed it too, because after Jeff Gordon retired now, they needed something new to spark interest. And obviously Tony Stewart's farewell tour or whatever was kind of fun. Season definitely took a hit when Dale Jr. went out with a concussion, but Alex Bowman stepped up, and I think he's making a little bit of a name for himself. So 2016 was good, but 2017 is going to have some hard shoes to fill. Not only is this season going to have to live up to the hype and drama that we saw in some races last year, and the success of the chase the last few years, but it's also going to have to do so without star drivers like Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards. They're gaining Dale Jr. back, of course, but Tony Stewart's a big personality that's going to be out of the sport. Carl Edwards was a youngish driver, in his prime still, that came this close to winning the title last year. He's gone. We've added names like Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, Ty Dillon. None of those names really that big. All 3 talented drivers, but none of them carry the weight behind them that guys like Chase Elliott have. And so that's where I lead to. I think the excitement this year is going to come from these young drivers. Kyle Larson got his first career win last season, but he's poised for many more. Chase Elliott's a guy who came really close last year. He's in the 24. He's got legions of fans behind him. This is an important year for him to make a big step, make the chase again. He needs to this is his opportunity to really compete for a championship and get his career off and rolling. Daniel Suarez just won an Xfinity championship. He's stepping into a championship-capable car. Pressure's on him. He has the opportunity to really make a big name for himself as well. Really, he has a big opportunity to globalize the sport, given that he's from Mexico, and gain attention from other countries outside the United States. Erik Jones is a really young driver. I think one of the, if not the youngest in the field full-time next year. He's stepping into Furniture Row Racing's number 77. They've expanded to a second team. That's going to create new changes. Erik Jones, one of the most successful Xfinity drivers last year, won the truck championship a couple years ago. Another driver who's got a big chance to make some waves this season. So in the end, this season's got a lot of changes. It's a big chance for NASCAR to take a step forward, looking into their future with a lot of veterans, like I said, like Stewart, Gordon, Edwards, guys like Matt Kenseth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. probably going to be retired before too long. Biffle's gone too. This is a big, important year for NASCAR to get some of these younger drivers, like I mentioned, to get over the hump and really become nationwide, well-known names. But aside from that, not much else. We got Daytona 500 this weekend, biggest race of the year. Gonna have a lot to talk about next week, I hope. So that's all I have for this first episode of 2017 Out of the Groove. I hope you enjoyed it. Share with all your NASCAR friends and family in your life. I hope you guys all enjoy it. Check out the links below, Twitter, Patreon, all that fun stuff. And subscribe if you're not already. You might have noticed that I did not use the phrase Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series at all in this video. And for those of you who don't know, Monster is the new sponsor for the series, Sprint's gone. But my problem with the name is just it's too long. I mean, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, that's like 10 syllables. Sprint Cup Series was like 4. Why couldn't they just call it the Monster Cup Series, or even just the Monster Energy Cup Series? That would work. I don't think you need Monster Energy and the word NASCAR in there at the same time. NASCAR's in the logo. People are gonna see these colorful cars with stores on their hoods and they're gonna know that it's NASCAR. And even Monster Energy, couldn't you just have Monster? I think when most people see the black logo with the green like M on it, I think most people are able to recognize that pretty quick. Ah well, it's gonna be a long year, made even longer by the long name Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. But yep, that's my show today. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next week.